What's up, guys? Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. So we got a couple things going on. First off, yesterday on the Kavanaugh video I did, I had a YouTube friend hit me up, John Perry Barlow Declaration is the name of the account, and he said, fun fact, his mom was the judge that foreclosed on her parents' house back in '96. I love fun facts. I went ahead and researched that. Technically, that is not correct. Martha Kavanaugh did rule on Christine Ford's parents' foreclosure, but she actually ruled favorably, and they ended up keeping the house. So that wouldn't make sense as far as why she would have a problem with him. I read where it all came from and stuff like that, and it's really long, and if you guys want to check it out on Snopes, you can check it out on Snopes for yourself. That's where I ended up finding out the information, and there were a couple other sources that also tell the same story. So it's not just Snopes saying that. If you want to do the research, definitely check it out. I'm always open to fun facts. I don't mind if I end up getting new information. I love new information because then I can update it. Even this is an alright little update. So the big deal is Bette Midler is in some trouble right now, which I don't really know how much trouble Bette Midler can be in because she's not really doing a lot. So it's not like you can say, oh, I'm not going to go to your show, Bette Midler. Nobody really cares like that. But I do want to talk about it just because last week I brought this up and I did a video about it. So I'm only going to go into it so much, but here's the deal. Bette Midler tweeted, "Women are the N-word of the world. Raped, beaten, enslaved, married off, worked like dumb animals, denied education and inheritance, enduring the pain and danger of childbirth and life in silence for thousands of years. They are the most disrespected creatures on earth." You know, I keep trying to tell you white women to stop trying to compare it to race. Stop. And I know everybody's like, it's a Yoko Ono quote. Great, it's a Yoko Ono quote. When was the last time Yoko Ono was relevant? Now that should tell you how outdated that quote is. That was when John Lennon was still alive. It's been so many years, so much has changed. We've learned so much about the way people interact, about the way we even should address people of color. And it's just like, white women, stop. Nobody wants to hear it. So then she went ahead and put out an apology. But before that, she had doubled down. After she posted the first one that I just read, she posted another one that said, "I gathered I have offended many by my last tweet. Women are the etc." Is a quote from Yoko Ono from 1972, which I never forgot. It rang true then and it rings true today. Whether you like it or not, this is not about race. This is about the status of women, their history. Black Twitter let her have it at that point. Black Twitter was like, no, ma'am. No, you are not doing this. So she ended up taking down the tweet and put out an apology. But at the same time, it was just sort of like too little too late. People were like, you know, I've had it with you. Why is it that people of color have to say things a couple of times before white people will say, okay, I may have said the wrong thing? So her apology was, "The too brief investigation of allegations against Kavanaugh infuriated me. Angrily, I tweeted without thinking my choice of words would be enraging to black women who doubly suffer, both by being women and by being black. I am an ally and I stand with you, always have, and I apologize." Now, there is a certain amount of truth to that. Bette Midler has, for a long time, stood up for people of color and LGBTQ. So I can see why people would be okay with forgiving. But at the same time, one thing I notice when white people mess up when it comes to people of color or dealing with people of color, one way that you could really help yourselves is just by being like, I messed up, I'm sorry, I'll do better in the future. That's all you have to say. Try that at home. I messed up, I'm sorry, I'll do better in the future. Nothing else. Because people of color are tired of hearing the excuses for why these comparisons keep getting made. Nobody wants to hear the reasons why you messed up. Nobody does. Because there comes a certain point where white people mess up and then they apologize to people of color, but their apology is phrased in a way where now not only are people of color supposed to forgive you, they're supposed to console you for you messing up. Like, this is something that happens all the time when white people mess up. White people mess up, then they apologize, but they're like, but this is the reason why, and this is why you need to feel bad for me. This is why you need to help me out. And it's like, no, I know that I've got brown skin, so that tells you that in some way I'm supposed to be nurturing to you. But that's not what I want to do. What I want you to do is just apologize, and then we move on. You give a sincere, heartfelt apology. You say you get it. You do better. Your learning curve is your learning curve. If you need to take some time to yourself and figure out exactly what it is you did wrong, take that apart. Maybe you got a couple people of color that are close in your life. If you're really the ally that you claim to be, you should have a couple of people of color that you can talk to, that you can be like, how is this? Maybe I still don't understand it, but that's who you deal with it with. For the general public, you just say, I'm sorry, and move on. And why should you apologize to the general public? Because you made your statement to the general public. I don't want to have to console you because you messed up. I don't feel like it should be my job to have to hug you and pet your hair after you messed up. How about you take a little bit of accountability? Like I said, I'm sorry, I messed up. I'll do better in the future. That's what you say. Then you figure it out, process it in your head, which I don't know how you still have to process it when it is 2018. This is not something that we should have to tell you. So anyway, my point is, when it comes to Bette Midler, I understand the apology and I get that you're saying you're sorry, but a lot of Black Twitter was like, no, I'm still not having it. And then another thing that's annoying is other white people jumped on and they were like, what's the big deal? She already said she was sorry. And that's something that's gotten very tired too. White people are always willing to forgive other white people for it. And then they act like people of color are making a big deal because it's like, well, I already forgave them for this. Well, you're not the one that she messed up against. You're not black. You're not a person of color. So, of course, you don't understand the significance of it. In a lot of cases, white people don't understand racism. And I get you not understanding racism in a lot of cases because it's very hard for somebody to understand something that's never happened to them. And sometimes white people will be like, well, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Still not the same. Because when you're white in America and you grow up in a predominantly black neighborhood or predominantly Latino neighborhood and you experience what you think racism is, the fact of the matter is you can move to another neighborhood or another city and you can be white again. When you're a person of color in the United States, there's no place to go. You're a person of color no matter where you go. I'm brown no matter where I go. No matter what I do, I'm always brown. People always know that I am something other than white. So it's not the same. You have not experienced actually living in a country that was designed to work against you. And that is changing. And I fully acknowledge that is changing. And I have benefited from some of those changes. Even as LGBT, I have benefited from some of those changes. But that doesn't mean that we're exactly there yet. And that doesn't mean that you need to stop learning. And that doesn't mean that now you can compare yourself to people of color because it is still different. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I guess I went on a little bit longer about that than I planned to, but I think it's so important when it comes to race and white people dealing with people of color. And I do feel like we're going to get to where we need to go, but I still know we have a ways to go. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us having the conversation. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know where you guys are. And thank you so much for watching. It is Friday, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I will be posting clips Saturday and Sunday. I am still on my 30-day challenge, so no days off. Thank you guys for watching. Please, please, please have a good Friday.